I'm Ryan. There we go. I was supposed to give a talk today on neurodiversity in tech and how we can support the amazing variety of brains that make up our species. Something happened. I fell into a depression. It's not uncommon when you're autistic, ADHD, and not coping well. It had been coming for a long time, but a few weeks ago, it hit a critical point. Suddenly, everything seemed pointless, including my talk. This past weekend, I sat at my computer and did everything except work on my talk. I'd already prepared an outline, but I just couldn't actually write the talk. Then Sunday, around 8 p.m., I gave up on it and wrote this talk instead. And in doing so, I realized the most important points I wanted to make. We can't be ashamed to talk about our mental health, even when we're not doing well. We can't be ashamed to work with our brains instead of against them, even when they won't do what we think they should. We can't be ashamed to ask for what we need, even when others don't understand. A few weeks ago, I was panicking. I could tell I was spiraling out of control, and I didn't know what to do. I was afraid that I was quickly heading towards a point where I wouldn't be able to do my job anymore, and I was terrified. So I did one of the hardest things I've ever had to do. I told my boss everything. I told him I was scared, that I didn't know if I could keep doing my job. I told him everything that I was and still am trying to deal with, and I told him I didn't know what to do. Now, if the full implications of what I just said didn't occur to you, let me say it another way. I told my boss that I didn't think I could continue to do my job. I fully realized it didn't matter how good I am at my job, and I'm good at my job. Doing this could mean losing my job, my income, even my insurance, but I didn't see any other option. So I took a chance, and it worked. My boss helped me. We transferred me to another team that was a bit less stressful for me. We devised strategies to help me deal with accountability. We came up with ways to vary my work so that I could work with my brain rather than force it to do something that it couldn't. And so far, it seems to be working. This is what it means to embrace neurodiversity, accepting that each one of us is unique, and what works for one person won't necessarily work for someone else. And that's okay. It's this very diversity of thinking that allows us to build, innovate, invent together so much more than any individual can do alone. There's a study where they gave groups of kids problems to solve. Some of the groups had an ADHD student in them and others didn't. 14 out of the 16 groups with an ADHD student solved the problems. None of the groups without did. Making the effort to support the neurodivergent among us benefits everyone. And all we need to do is listen to each other without judgment. Take the time to learn what we each need. Try different ways of working and iterate on them. The same thing we do when we solve a problem with software. With a little compassion, understanding, and patience, we can all achieve so much more than we otherwise would. To me, that's beautiful. Thank you for hearing my story.